From eerie movements in the woods, unexplainable figures spotted in the dark, to strange discoveries that just can't be explained. These encounters are so bizarre they'll creep you out, so stay tuned. A video appeared online in 2021 when a couple of friends went exploring a grassy area at night. While checking out a strange slab, they noticed someone watching them. When they turned, they saw a humanoid figure standing in the distance, with glowing red eyes and a stick in its hand. It didn't move. It just stood there, watching. Some people think it might have been a lost traveler. But how could a lost traveler have glowing red eyes? Some believe it was the spirit of a traveler who still roams that part of the woods, unable to leave. Missing hiker. Rangers were in the forest searching for a missing hiker when they came across something strange, an abandoned camera lying on the ground. When they checked the footage, things took a horrifying turn. The last thing recorded showed the hiker running, terrified. Then, a tall humanoid figure in a long, black hooded coat and mask appeared. Before the video cut out, the hiker was dragged into a ritual, surrounded by candles flickering in the dark. And that was the last time people saw or even heard from the guy. Mountain ritual. An explorer was making his way through the mountains at night when he spotted an unusual thing in the distance. A humanoid figure, completely covered in black, was moving strangely, performing what looked like a ritual. Its head was covered, making it impossible to tell what it really was. But one thing was clear: it wasn't normal. A ghost? A demonic entity? He wasn't sure, but he made sure to record it as proof. With the creepy sight in his mind, he could only hope he made it out of that place safely. Horned creature. A group of explorers went into the forest to check out an old house known for scary stories. As they entered the woods, they felt like something was watching them. As they got closer to the house, shadows moved in the distance. One of them pointed a camera, and that's when they saw it. A dark figure with glowing eyes and horns was hiding in the bushes. The moment a flashlight hit it, the creature let out a deep growl. Panic took over. They ran without looking back, leaving everything behind. Whether it was a cryptid or something even worse, they had no intention of finding out. Island figure. Some places are better left unexplored. A couple was exploring an island when they spotted a human-like figure in the distance. It was covered in black, standing weirdly still. The moment they made eye contact, a strange feeling washed over them. Without a second thought, they turned and left. Whatever that thing was, they didn't want to find out. That beach never felt right again. Maybe it was a skinwalker. Maybe an alien. Either way, they weren't coming back. Bridge creature. Two friends were heading home late at night, crossing an old bridge. Everything seemed normal until their camera captured a woman standing there, staring at them. Her face wasn't normal. It was terrifying. A devilish smile stretched across her face, and she looked just like one of those women influenced by black magic. Luckily, they didn't stop or even see her. They just kept moving. If they had stopped, who knows what she was planning to do? Dark ritual. A guy had heard strange noises from his neighbor's abandoned house for quite some time. One night, curiosity got the best of him, and he decided to have a look. As he stepped inside, he saw a humanoid figure dressed in black, silently roaming the house. The moment it noticed him, it didn't attack or run. It just moved to one side and stayed there. Strange symbols covered the walls, which according to the guy were clear signs of rituals. It was as if the witch was in the middle of something sinister. If I were in his place, I wouldn't have stayed a second longer. I would have run without even thinking.
Pinche madre, güey.
Goat chupacabra. In San Marcos, farm workers kept hearing strange noises from the goat pen, so one night they went to check. As they got closer, they saw a terrifying sight. A giant black figure crouched over a goat, devouring it, which made them scared. But the worst part, the moment it noticed them, it stopped and turned their way. Without wasting a second, they ran. A metal fence stood between them and the creature, but they weren't taking any chances. And if you didn't get what the creature was, it was a chupacabra. Hidden giant. While hiking in the woods, a hiker heard heavy footsteps approaching. At the start, he thought it was just an animal, but as the steps grew louder and heavier, he realized this was something else. Then he saw it. A giant, much bigger than he ever imagined, covered in black and moving through the trees. He was so scared that he quickly hid behind a tree, hoping it wouldn't notice him. Luckily, the giant never stopped. It walked right past him. The hiker knows that if he had been seen, things might have ended differently. Forest baby. This clip was posted on YouTube on February 2nd, 2021, by a local man exploring the American woods. While walking through the trees, he noticed something unusual lying on the ground. Curious, he stepped closer and saw a small creature partly covered in leaves. It wasn't moving, but its features looked strange, almost like a baby Sasquatch. That's when it hit him. If this was a baby Sasquatch, its parents had to be nearby, and if they saw him this close, he wouldn't stand a chance. Wasting no time, he decided to leave the area before things took a scary turn. Hunter Sasquatch. In the forest, a hunter moved silently, tracking unusual activity. Through the trees, he spotted a large figure standing still. Thinking he had finally found his prey, he aimed, unsure if it was an animal or something else. But he had no idea what he had just done. As he stepped closer, the truth hit him. It wasn't any animal he had ever seen. It looked like a Sasquatch, and it was furious. The hunter instantly knew what was coming. Regret washed over him, but it was too late. His chances of making it home were fading, and since that night, no one knows what happened to him. Brazil Beast. In a small town in Brazil, locals lived in fear of a strange creature. Those who saw it described a terrifying face and aggressive behavior. People were so afraid that they refused to leave their homes at night, scared they might be thrashed. One brave farmer decided to find out the truth. Armed with a flashlight, he stepped into the fields where its tracks had been seen. Suddenly, from the tall grass, it appeared a small figure covered in black fur, gripping a wooden stick, staring right at him. Before he could react, it charged. The farmer barely escaped, but now there was no doubt it was a cryptid living there. Since then, even during the day, no one dares to go near that place. Desert Discovery.
Ish?
Wanting to avoid the strange figure haunting people at night, this guy decided to go in the day, but I guess he was meant to have that encounter. He spotted an abandoned building hiding among the trees. At first, everything seemed normal, just another forgotten place. But as he stepped closer, he noticed something right next to the door. A black figure stood still, staring at him. It didn't move, didn't make a sound, just watched him, as if waiting. He knew better than to go any closer. Whatever it was, a ghost or a spirit of the woods, one thing was clear: staying there wasn't a good idea. Creature footage. While wandering in the woods, a man spotted a human-like figure standing beside a tree, looking around. He didn't think much of it, but as he looked closer, he realized something was off. The figure wasn't just any person. It had an unusual presence, almost like it was guarding the forest. That's when it clicked. This was a forest sprite, a fairy-like creature known to protect nature and the trees. Shocked, he knew better than to disturb it. Instead, he quietly decided to step back, letting it continue whatever it was doing. cave beast. While driving home from work around 9 p.m., a young man in Indonesia saw something terrifying in the middle of the road. Out of nowhere, a huge creature with only one eye appeared, standing right in front of his car. He didn't know what it was, maybe a demon, a Bigfoot, or a giant ape, but when he tried to start his car, it wouldn't work. Left with no choice, he had to face the creature. As he got closer, he realized it was a cyclops, a monster from Greek mythology. But what was it doing in Indonesia? Before he could escape, the creature struck. Some say he never made it out. And to this day, the town still talks about that terrifying night. Ghost Town. A paranormal investigator arrived in an old, abandoned town, known for its creepy history. The moment he stepped out of his car, the silence and darkness felt heavy, almost unnatural. It didn't take long before he spotted a face staring at him through a window. A black face with glowing white eyes. He was scared. Then, as he took a step closer, it disappeared, only to reappear behind a wall. Moments later, it showed up again in another window, and that was enough for him. He didn't wait to see more. He turned back, ran towards his car, and decided this was one place he would never return to. Forest figure. That's why you shouldn't visit the woods at night. A local was crossing through when he suddenly felt something strange. He stopped and looked around, trying to figure out if it was just his instincts or something real. That's when he saw it. A tall, long-haired figure stood beside a tree, staring right at him. The moment he locked eyes with it, the figure turned around and left. Maybe it was planning to get closer, but since he saw it, it backed off. Was it Bigfoot? Or something even creepier? He didn't stay to find out. Road werewolf. Two young boys were driving around the city at night when they took a wrong turn and ended up in an old abandoned town. They were already nervous, but they kept going until something stopped them. An animal stepped out of the bushes onto the road. But this wasn't just any animal. It was big, and its deep growl terrified them. Without thinking twice, they put the car in reverse and sped away. That night, they were sure of one thing. They had just encountered a werewolf. Howling beast. Locals had been hearing terrifying howls from the woods at night, so they decided to set up a trail camera to find out what was making the noise. What the camera captured was beyond anything they expected. At first, the footage showed nothing unusual, but late into the night, a strange figure appeared. It had black fur and moved in a way that didn't seem normal. The darkness made it hard to tell what it was, until one camera angle caught its face. It looked exactly like a werewolf. Those creepy howls, they belonged to it. After that, no one dared to enter the woods again. Crawling creature. A security camera on a quiet road captured a scene straight out of a horror movie. At first, the footage showed dogs barking like crazy at something off screen. Then it appeared, a giant human-like figure crawling past the camera. The sight was beyond shocking. Its movements were unnatural, its presence unsettling. As soon as the video was uploaded, it spread everywhere, leaving people debating what it could be. Some believed it was a skinwalker, while others were still trying to figure it out. Whatever it was, but one thing was clear. No one would want to see it in real life. Fire spirit. A strange video appeared online, leaving viewers unsettled. It showed a local walking through an open, grassy area at night when he came across a bonfire burning on its own. No one was around, but that wasn't the weird part. As he recorded, a shadowy figure suddenly appeared, floating toward the fire. The moment it reached the flames, it vanished. The whole thing was clearly visible in the video, but no one could explain what it was. A spirit? A lost soul? Whatever it was, people are still wondering why it went straight into the fire. Mountain giant. In Tijuana, Mexico, a local was on his way home when he spotted someone walking on top of a mountain. At first, it didn't seem strange until he looked closer. The figure was massive, much bigger than a normal person. You know what? It was a giant. It moved down the mountain, heading toward the woods, maybe to disappear where no one could see it. Since then, the whole town has been so scared of the giant that they worry it might one day come down to the city. Trail werewolf. A camper set up a trail camera for security while spending the night in the woods. The next morning, he checked the footage and what he saw would stay with him forever. At first, it looked like any other animal passing by, but when he looked closer, the creature's appearance didn't seem normal at all. Then, a scary howl echoed through the night. That's when it hit him. This thing wasn't just any creature. It might have been a werewolf. And from the way it moved, it wasn't just wandering. It was looking for something or someone. Forest Witch. A peaceful family hike turned into something they would never forget. As they walked along a quiet trail, one of the kids suddenly stopped and pointed toward the trees. Not far away, a human-like figure sat under a tree. Its head was covered with a black coat, and it looked like a woman lost in black magic. The family couldn't believe their eyes. They stood for a moment before pulling out a camera to record proof of what they saw. But the figure never moved, just sat there in complete silence. Horned Demon. A farmer was in his fields when he saw a sight straight out of a nightmare. A horned, human-like figure peeked its head out of the bushes, looking around as if searching for someone, maybe even him. Luckily, he was at a distance. If he had been any closer, escape wouldn't have been an option. His only advantage was that it hadn't seen him. Even then, he knew one thing for sure. No matter how fast he ran, there was no escaping the devil. He could only be grateful that this time, it didn't notice him. Balcony Watcher. A local was sleeping peacefully when strange noises came from the tree branches right next to his balcony. Half asleep, he stepped outside to check. That's when he heard rustling in the branches. The leaves made it hard to see, but whatever it was, it didn't stay in one place. It kept moving here and there, almost like it was watching him. At first, he thought it might be a monkey, but monkeys don't usually act like that, which means it was something else, something he wasn't ready to find out. Camping Jinn.
Astagfirullah.
A camper noticed this strange creature while he was looking out at his tent. At first, he thought it was just the wind, but as the sounds continued, curiosity got the better of him. Stepping out, he followed the noises through the trees until he suddenly stopped. Right in front of him stood a beast covered in thick black hair, its head tilting side to side as if studying him. He was so scared to see it. He had only heard stories of the jinn haunting these woods, but now he wasn't just hearing them, he was living one, and soon he would have his own story to tell. Russian Bigfoot. In the forests of Adagia Republic, a group of kids was playing when they noticed something moving in the distance. Even from far away, it looked massive and covered in thick hair. In the beginning, they thought it was just an animal, but the way it moved, jumping behind trees and vanishing into the forest, was anything but normal. There was no doubt in their minds about what they had just seen. A Bigfoot. First spotted in America, it seemed like these creatures were now making their presence known in Russia too. Window Entity. A local was walking through his neighborhood at night, unaware that he was about to witness something that would keep him awake for nights. As he passed by one house, he suddenly felt like someone was watching him. When he turned, he saw a terrifying shadowy figure with glowing eyes staring at him through the glass window. For a moment, he couldn't move. The window was the only thing separating him from whatever was inside. If it had been open, who knows what could have happened? Was it some kind of cryptid? And more importantly, what was it doing inside that house? Forest Werewolf. In Mexico, a local was walking through the woods at night when he spotted an unusual sight that scared him. In the dim light, he saw a humanoid figure crouched down, eating something. Its body was elongated, its movements unnatural. As he looked closer, he realized it was a werewolf tearing into its prey. He was nervous. He knew he couldn't make a sound. Slowly, he decided to step back, careful not to draw attention. One wrong move, and he could be next. From that night on, he never used that route again. Cave Ghost. This is why you shouldn't explore an abandoned cave alone. An explorer was on his usual adventure when his day took a terrifying turn. As he went deeper into the cave, he suddenly stopped there. Sitting on one side of the cave was a figure staring right at him. Its face was covered, but its presence alone was enough to scare him. He didn't need a second guess. This was no ordinary person. Locals had always said this cave belonged to a ghost, and now he understood why. It had been abandoned for years, and now he knew what was still living inside. Possessed Walker. A group of friends was heading home late at night and decided to take a shortcut, a road running beside the woods. They had no idea this would turn into the worst decision of their lives. As they drove in, a creepy human figure suddenly appeared in front of their car. But the strange part? Its legs were twisted together, and it was walking unnaturally slow. Panic set in. That road had a creepy reputation. Locals spoke of a possessed woman who roamed there at night. And now, these friends had just stumbled right into her path. Stick creature. This strange footage appeared on social media, showing what looked like a normal zoo enclosure filled with monkeys. But as the video continued, things got strange. The dark shapes moving around didn't act like animals. They moved more like humans. Then, one figure dropped from a tree, landing on all fours and crawling in a creepy way. A nearby tree even swayed, as if something was inside it. And just when it couldn't get weirder, the figure suddenly stood up on two legs and disappeared into the darkness. Some say it was a cryptid creature, but others aren't so sure. Vanishing Giant. A creepy video popped up online, shocking viewers everywhere. The camera guy could be seen talking to a man dressed in black, lying on the ground as if he couldn't stand. But something about him was off. His face looked unnatural, almost ghostly. It didn't take long for viewers to realize this wasn't an ordinary man. Many were convinced it was a ghost. But the real mystery? No one knows where or when this was recorded, or what happened after the camera stopped rolling. Cave creature. Two friends were exploring the top of a mountain when they felt someone watching them. In the beginning, they thought it was just their imagination, but then they saw it, glowing eyes in the darkness, staring right at them. As their eyes adjusted, they noticed something even worse. The figure had two large horns, and its face looked just like a goat's. There was no doubt it was the infamous Goat Man, known for creeping around and scaring people. They stayed for a while, but as soon as they sensed the threat, they knew it was time to leave. Moss Man. In a quiet neighborhood in Brazil, a man recorded a terrifying thing. Through his camera, he spotted a dark, blurry figure moving behind a wall. Its shape was strange, and its face looked almost like an animal. It didn't look like it belonged there. For a few seconds, the creature stood still, as if scanning the area. Its body seemed distorted, like it was stuck between two worlds. Maybe it was a cryptid, or something even worse. Then, without warning, it rushed into the darkness. The man didn't wait to find out more. He stopped recording and ran without looking back. Arctic Mystery. A camper was sleeping peacefully in his tent when strange noises woke him up. It sounded like something was moving just outside. Carefully, he unzipped the tent a little and peeked out. In the distance, a creature was sitting silently, almost like it was waiting for him to step outside. He had seen it just in time. Without making a sound, he sat back and stayed completely still. One wrong move, and it could all be over. Holding his breath, he waited for the morning. He knew he had to leave as soon as the sun came up. Forest giant.
Olha lá, galera. Olha lá, olha lá, olha lá, aquela coisa lá, olha lá. O chupa-cabra lá, olha lá.
A group of friends were heading home late at night, taking a path through the woods. As they moved, they spotted something peeking at them from behind a tree. Its eyes glowed in the dark, scaring them. One of them stepped closer for a better look and saw its pale face. The rest of its body was hidden behind the tree, but its presence was enough to confirm what they were dealing with. The description matched one weird creature, the rake, and from the way it was watching them, it wasn't just passing by. Without wasting another second, they decided to leave before it was too late.
Olha isso aí dele, tamanho, que negócio feio.
Underground monster. While exploring an abandoned house, this explorer spotted a giant black beast sitting on top of a wall. Its terrifying face, piercing stare, and massive horns made it clear this wasn't a ghost or a spirit. It was a cryptid creature, one said to haunt anyone who laid eyes on it. The way it watched him, motionless yet intense, felt like it was waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The video cut off there, leaving only one question. Did he make it out safely? Jungle sighting. A hiker was walking through the woods when he noticed something climbing a tree. He thought it was just a kid messing around, but as he got closer, he realized it wasn't a kid at all. It was a small creature covered in black fur, more specifically, a baby Sasquatch. And if there was a baby, its parents had to be nearby. He didn't see them, but that didn't mean they weren't there. And one thing was for sure, he didn't want to stick around to find out. Sea monster.
Pelo amor de Deus.
A group of friends were having fun while roaming around the woods, but their fun quickly turned into a nightmare. In the distance, they spotted a giant wolf. But here's the catch. It was much bigger than a normal wolf, and its features were terrifying. That's when they realized what they were looking at, a werewolf. At first, it just howled, but they made a mistake by getting too close. Suddenly, it charged at them. Without wasting a second, they turned and ran as fast as they could, hoping to get home safely. Alien creature. A strange video was uploaded online on November 3rd, 2014. In it, a hiker was in a rocky area at night when he suddenly heard heavy footsteps coming his way. He instantly started recording, and what appeared was more than just scary. A giant creature slowly walked in, looking around as if searching for someone. It had a large nose and matching descriptions of cryptid creatures. But the scariest part? As soon as it spotted him, it rushed straight at him. The video ended abruptly, leaving everyone wondering what happened next. Unknown creature. While hiking deep in the woods, an adventurer came across a terrifying sight. As he quietly filmed the wilderness, he spotted a massive figure standing on two legs, unaware it was being recorded. The creature paused, scanning the trees as if looking for someone, maybe for him, but luckily, he was hidden in the bushes. Well, its appearance was like a wolf, but in a much creepier way. Turned out it was a werewolf, creeping in the wild. Jungle giant. A man was crossing the woods at night when he felt like someone was watching him. As he looked around, he spotted a dog in the bushes. At first, it seemed normal, but something felt off. When he looked closer, he realized it wasn't just a dog. Instead, it was a dog man. Its elongated body and intense stare made it clear. Dogmen are said to strike humans, and from the way it watched him, it seemed to have the same intentions. So he needs to make sure he get out safe, and hope so he will succeed in it. Creepy creature. A guy and his dog were walking in the woods when his dog spotted a wolf sitting in the distance and ran toward it. In the start, it seemed like a normal wolf, but as the dog got closer, the creature stood up. The guy was shocked. It was massive, almost 3 times the size of a regular wolf. Without even thinking, he turned and ran, hoping his dog would do the same. The subscriber's pick. In the summer of 2021, a family took a photo in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, but later noticed something strange. At first, it looked normal, just kids walking through a wooded area. But in the top right corner, a pair of long legs appeared, wearing pants and shoes. If those legs were real, the figure would be over 15 feet tall. Some compared it to Slender Man, the bizarre figure known for stalking children. While some say it was just a hoax, others aren't so sure. But one thing is certain, those legs make the photo truly unsettling.